Nikki, the UK house builders obviously had a terrible time post-financial crisis, but since the new year, shares have been on a tear. We had Barratt results, or its trading statement today. What did they say?
Well, they were very cheerful, and they're putting their shares have tripled over the past, or virtually tripled over the past year, and they're putting a lot of it down to the sort of government stimulus to the UK house building market, which has been really very sad post the crisis. In particular, the third of the government's programme, the Help to Buy programme, which is much broader in terms of its sort of accessibility. It applies to a broad swathe of potential buyers, and it doesn't require the house builders to make any kind of financial commitment, unlike the previous two schemes. And Barratt, it launched in April. Barratt has said that it sort of now sees the conditions as the most favourable for the past 5 years, and has given some sort of parameters on the uplift that's coming from that scheme.
So you have sort of new buy, first buy, help buy, these various programs. Do we have any idea of how much those programs are helping companies like Barratt, and how much underlying demand is improving or the market is improving?
Well, I think the figures suggest that the first two of those two programs, which were somewhat more contained in their scope, assisted something from 15 to 30% of unit sales at the top three volume house builders, which includes Barratt, last year. But if you look at the housing market overall, the number of new housing starts in England and even completions is still at very, very sorry levels. I mean, it was down in 2012 as a calendar year at under 100,000. That's really not enough. I mean, it's woefully short of the demand that's estimated.
So we're not seeing any actual increase in activity so far in the actual housing start numbers themselves?
Well, certainly very patchy.
Mm-hmm. And Barratt's share price has been almost a straight line upwards since January. How is the valuation looking?
Pretty generous. I mean, it's now on, for 2013 earnings, it's now on a 22 times multiple. Now, that does come down quite sharply when you get to 2014 to sort of 13, 14 times. But that's, you know, which is a sort of marker of where the market thinks things are going. And profits should be helped as old low margin houses built on old low margin land begin to sort of decline as a proportion of the total, and its debt is coming down.
Well, it's going to need all of those things to help it on that kind of multiple. Thanks very much for that update of an excellent share price move this year. Thank you, Nikki.